Understanding the essay prompt. Before you begin to write an essay, it is crucial that you understand what your professor wants from you. Whether you are writing about a novel, a historical event, or a scientific experiment, there are many ways to look at and discuss your topic. In this video, we will go over some of the most commonly used terms in essay prompts. We'll go through what they mean, as well as the kinds of things that you should think about when you see them in an assignment. Having a strong understanding of the essay prompt will make the brainstorming and writing process much easier. The first term you may see in an essay prompt is summarize. To summarize means to briefly explain the main point or most important points. Think about when you've just seen a movie you really liked and you're telling a friend about it. You're going to mention the setting, so where the movie takes place, the characters, and a rough outline of the plot, maybe with a couple of important background details. That's essentially what a summary is. When you're asked to summarize, think about these words: who, what, when, where, why, and how. These are the main elements of a story or event. When you're asked to analyze something, think about putting the essay topic under a microscope. When you look at something that closely, you can see details, nuances, connections, patterns, and trends that may not be obvious at first glance. After taking this close look, in order to conduct your analysis, you need to take apart the pieces that you see, examine them individually, and assess how they are related to one another. Synthesizing is kind of the opposite of analyzing, but they are often done together. When you analyze something, you look at all of the pieces individually. When you synthesize, it means you're combining separate parts into one coherent whole. This is what music producers do. They have separate recordings of the melody, harmonies, and individual instruments that they need to put together in such a way that when you listen to the song, no one voice or instrument sticks out more than it should. Rather, everything comes together to form one cohesive song. So, if your professor asks you to synthesize, that means you need to discuss the separate pieces together in such a way that their connection is clear and understandable. When you're asked to compare and contrast two things, two novels, two characters, two historical events, whatever it is, you're being asked to focus on both the similarities and differences. To compare, you point out the things that are the same, or at least very similar. These are the elements that you'd put in the center part of the Venn diagram. To contrast, on the flip side, means to point out the differences, or what you'd only put in one circle of the Venn diagram. When comparing and contrasting, there may be very obvious examples for one or both categories, so jot those down first while planning your paper. Next, think about the more subtle details. Not only are those subtleties potentially great material for your paper, making yourself think about them before you begin writing will help you better understand the text in question. When you're asked to define something, think about a dictionary. To define means to provide and explain the meaning of something. Usually, after giving the meaning, you'll want to offer a few helpful examples, just like how the dictionary sometimes shows you a sentence that uses the word. You are now prepared to respond to any essay prompt you may come across. For more videos and writing guides, click the link below.